All right. Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Command Grab.
Oh yeah.
For today, we're going to talk about the top 5 games that we played last year.
Yep. We might have like a couple games that are the same. I can guarantee you there's at least one that's different from both of ours. I think.
Maybe, yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. But if you don't know what the Command Grab is our gaming podcast on this YouTube channel. So we talk everything games. We've been talking about PoE a lot lately. We might be talking about PoE a little bit more later in the coming weeks. But like Prophet said, we're going to be talking about our top 5 games of 2024. And as always, if you're not doing it already, please make sure that you are following us on Blue Sky. Prophet's on there all the time. He gives a lot of tweets. There's a lot of information on there. So please, if you're not doing that, make sure you are. And if you can't watch our podcasts on YouTube, if you can't listen to them on YouTube, make sure you go over to Podbean and Spotify to listen to our podcast. Take them on the go. You can show them to your kids, show them to your family while you're playing a game. You can put us on in the background. You can put us on in the COD lobby so they can hear these sweet hot takes. And yeah, just make sure that make sure you go follow us over there on Podbean and Spotify and listen to us over there too. Prophet, tell them about the YouTube.
Oh, yeah. So if you're one of our YouTube warriors, that's what I'm going to call you guys.
Oh, oh.
You guys are battling out there, bro. Asking with us. So if you're one of them YouTube warriors, of course, tap that like button if you like the show. And also tap that subscribe and the bell so you can get us whenever any of our shows come out. We have 3 shows. This one, the Command Grab, of course, like Lionel said earlier, we talk about video games. We have one called the OVA, which that's where we talk about anime. And our last one is Off the Top Rope. You're going to get that every week, and it's going to talk about our pro wrestling and pretty much all things AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, with that, let's get to the games, man.
All right, man. I don't know how we're gonna do this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say my number 5, and then we'll just go back and forth, and they'll be on the screen for everybody, so you can see them. You'll be able to see our lists on the screen also. And if you have a top 5 yourself for games that you played in 2024, throw them in the comments. Let us know. Talk to us. Let's see if your games match ours. I'm gonna say my number 5, and this should be a surprise to no one if you listen to the podcast for the last like month, right? This is how much I love this game. My number 5 game is Path of Exile 2.
Oh man.
I
Okay.
put it on the list. I put it on the list. I feel like if I did not put it on the list, I would have been disingenuous to my current addiction. Like there was no way. Like for an ARPG, Prophet, we've talked about it before. I usually only play like one class, and I kind of just stick with that. And once I'm done with that class. I just kind of don't touch the game anymore. That's kind of happened with it happened with Diablo 3. It happened with Diablo 4. Whatever other ARPG. Like I played it. Like I got to the end game of Diablo 4, and I had a lot of fun. But once I was done with that class, I was done. Like I just stopped. Right.
Yeah.
Path of Exile 2. I have played 4 of the 6 characters now. I have a mercenary in Endgame that I dropped because it was boring. I have a monk in Act 3. I have a ranger in Act 3, and I now have a warrior also like in Act 3.
Oh yeah.
So I've been pushing. I have an ungodly amount of hours on the game. I'm not going to talk about that, but I just really enjoy that game right now. It could be the addiction talking also. Easily. It could be the addiction. But the fact that I haven't been able to put that game down, it just for me, I had to put it on my list. It had to be in here somewhere. Not an honorable mention, it had to be on here.
Okay. So I guess that goes to me on my number 5.
Mm-hmm.
I got the same game.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's that game's pretty undeniable, right? Like it's got everything you want in an ARPG. It's really fun, really deep. I still think we haven't even touched the surface, even touched the, you know, we haven't even got to the tip of the iceberg yet on what can be done with characters. Like people are starting to finally now cross into other specs with their current ones. So they're like going warrior and then doing, witch stuff and things like that. So we don't know. That's how huge this game is. So I think, yeah, like easily that is like easily my number 5.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I got a legendary that has a requirement on my warrior for 100 intelligence. That also has like a minion spec on there, right?
I can link you something later.
Oh, see, but they know what they're doing with that game. Like, are there problems? Is it perfect? No. Like,
No,
there's no such thing as anything perfect, right? Like, and we're not gonna sit here, and I'm not gonna say we should. I guess we should give that clarity also, just to be safe. Everything has its problems. I know there's some beef going on the internet right now, but it's just an enjoyable game. It's really good.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, no game's perfect. Come on.
Yeah, no. Except for
So
except for my number one. My number one is like probably as close to perfect as possible.
I know what your number 1 is.
Oh, of course you do. We will get there though.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I will go to my number 4. This is the one I think that we have different. My
Okay.
my number 4 is Gundam Breaker 4.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I haven't played it yet, so it could have been my number 4 if I played it, but
Ooh.
it's up there. It's up there on my on the thing, ready to be played. So
That game is so much fun, and it's low key kind of different from the other 3 games, which are just as a spoiler. The rest of my games on my list are JRPGs, so just be ready for that. Profit, I'm pretty sure you already knew that coming into this.
of course, like okay, I would say this, right? If we did this as a top 10, I think like 60% of my list would be JRPGs.
Oh yeah,
No lie.
oh yeah. But for
Yeah.
Gunner Breaker 4, it's just I feel like they found themselves again with Gunner Breaker 4. There's a lot of parts in there. You have different arm pieces now, which is nice. You can actually mix and match. There is just a lot of good in that game. The story, eh, you know, yeah, but you're not in there for you're in there to build your mech. You're in there to build your mobile suit, make it as crazy as you want. They give you a lot of tools to make some crazy mobile suits. And it was just a good time. I still need to finish it. I'm in the last act now. I do need to finish it, but Path of Exile completely stopped me from finishing it. So I need to go back at some point, which I do plan on doing that this year.
Okay.
Well, what's your
That's
number
good.
4, Profit?
Okay, my number 4. So it's going to be a little bit controversial because it's like right over the other game that we just talked about.
Uh-oh.
It's another ARPG.
Uh-huh.
I think you know what it is.
I think I do.
So, the Diablo 4 expansion.
How dare you
Diablo
put an expansion? No, I'm kidding.
Diablo 4 as a whole and its expansion. Look, I know people have thing that they want to crap on Diablo 4, but I've had so much fun with that game. I had a ton of fun with that game last year. Like, if you look at like so much fun that if you look at like my console stats for PlayStation and Xbox, the number 1 game played is Diablo 4 expansion. Well, Diablo 4 on PlayStation and the expansion on Xbox. There's no there's no middle ground, right? um yeah, I still think it's a fantastic game. I think like yes, like again, like we said with PoE, is there issues? Of course. Of course, right? Um but the overall, like the more I'm playing PoE 2, the more I'm liking the contrast between both games. PoE 2 has like one way of doing things, like it's more a little bit more slow, a little bit more methodical in certain areas, and then there's the blasting that you can do with the other stuff. But Diablo 4 is like get your shit in and then blast. That's what you're doing. And some days you just want to blast. You don't I ain't trying to think about the 30 ways I'm gonna get hit and die. I'm trying to step in and I'm trying to be the final fucking boss and I'm blasting.
Hell yeah, man.
So yeah, I like that contrast. And actually, this is gonna be messed up, but like there's like I don't know, like a slash here. Because they're both Blizzard games and they would both be, my opinion, they're both like tied. Is the other game is World of Warcraft: The War Within. Yeah, I know, 2 fucking expansions, right?
I was expecting WoW to be like higher on the list, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you, because we talked about it a lot earlier this year. So
Uh-huh. Well, there's another game that like I'll put over that, and you'll find out.
okay.
But yeah, The War Within, fucking excellent. Story is great. The gameplay is great. All the stuff that they're doing is really good. It's WoW coming back to form, kind of like what you said with Gundam Breaker coming back to form. This is World of Warcraft coming back from hiatus, I guess. It's Togashi coming back and writing another chapter of Hunter x Hunter. That's how it feels.
Oh man, don't get me started on
So, so yeah, that's my fourth, and yeah, those are fun. All right, Lionel, what's your third, man?
that. My number 3. This one I was like having a toss up with this one. I didn't know if I wanted to put it at 3 or 2. I'm just gonna do another little spoiler. Both these are Atlas games that came out this year. There's another one that I really want to play that I didn't get a chance to play yet. But my number 3 is gonna be Metaphor ReFantazio.
Son of a bitch. We're tied.
That's your number 3 too?
That's my number 3 also.
You know what? I did my explanation, Profit. I want you to explain why Metaphor is your number 3.
Okay. So the main reason it's number 3 and not number 1 in my thing is because I haven't finished it. That's the only reason. But think about it. All those other games I said before I finished. Well, not finished, but I gotten pretty far. Well, I finished Diablo 4 and all that shit. But anyways, I gotten pretty far, got to their end game, played them, pretty much finished, right? I am like, I don't know, I'd say like 10 to 15 hours in. And it's like, if it wasn't for not, not finishing it, it'd probably be my number 1. Flat out. It is probably one of the best JRPGs I've ever played. One of them. Nothing tops Chrono Trigger, but one of them. It goes through. Let's see. It does not. Story wise, it does not hold back on the message it's trying to. It's bringing, right. Gameplay. It take all the personas and SMTs, put those together, and take the best elements of all of them and put them in the game, and that's Metaphor ReFantazio. And that's me generalizing it. Is way more than that. It is such a damn good game. How about you, Lionel?
God bless. What can I say about this game? I'm not gonna do any kind of spoilers in here because you haven't beaten it. And Metaphor is one of those games that you really need to go in spoiler free and just enjoy the story. I have beaten Metaphor. I have a second playthrough that's started but not really far in it all. Really, I think I might be like an hour in on that second playthrough. I do plan on going back and just knocking that one out. Metaphor for me might be one of the best games that Atlas has ever made, I believe. For a lot of the reasons that you touched on, the story is fantastic, the gameplay mechanics and the elements are fantastic, the characters are fantastic. Like, and the main thing is, if you're a fan of like Persona, they take a lot of the Persona style and add a lot of SMT elements and low-key redefine what a turn-based RPG should be. And just every part of that game is fantastic. I'm not going to talk about the ending. I'm not going to talk about anything else. But when you go through the game and when certain story beats happen as they're happening, you get invested, and you don't want to stop. You want to just keep going. Atlas really like nailed this game to the point where I hope whatever they do next has metaphor elements. It has to. They can't go backwards. Everything has to have like some kind of element from metaphor going forward, and they need to expand and upgrade on those from now on, because you can't go back. You just can't.
I agree. This is like taking everything that they have learned from all the other games and then pretty much perfected them, right? So you can't go like. I think they're working on another metaphor though.
I mean, with the way that it's sold, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So we'll see.
It could be SMT, Persona, Metaphor. Like that could be their three JRPGs that they do. I think the next one that Atlas is going to be doing is more than likely, like the next big one is probably Persona 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes, but I don't know. Either way, Metaphor is a fantastic game. If this was any other year, I think Metaphor would have been my number one, but I couldn't do it.
Okay.
All right. I said my number. I've been saying all of them first. Profit. What is your number 2 game of 2024?
My number 2 game of 2024. So it probably won't surprise you, but it might, I don't know, surprise other people. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck was surprised, but Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Mm-hmm.
That game is incredible. It gives you all the, I would say it gives you all the things that you want in like the type of game it is. Like if you didn't want to say like play WoW and Raid or anything like that, but you wanted to like jump online, play a game with some ridiculous boss fights. I'm just gonna tell you, some of these boss fights are ridiculous, and I was amazed how they did them. Because like these boss fights are literally like Raid boss fights from like Final Fantasy 14 or other games, right? That's the depth of the boss fights that they have in this game, and they're fantastic. The characters are all of them play completely different, which is an accomplishment because I think there's like 24 plus characters, and there was and all the content that they brought in after was free, so there was no paying for the DLC characters or anything like that. It's just a quick synopsis. The game is like mission based, in a way. You go through the missions and you get ranks, and then you get of course you get gear. You craft, you put like some things together to like synthesize them. There's a whole lot of stuff in the game. It's like pretty in depth for when I got into it. I was like, oh, this is way more in depth than I thought. But it's great. All the characters have like their ultimate weapons. They all, of course, have a talent tree, which you can pretty much spec into everything for it. That just makes them infinitely more powerful. And then now you're like playing all the different play styles and seeing how they work, and seeing like in raid boss situations, playing those. Just a great game, and the story is actually pretty good. Like after I beat the game, I was like, man, what the hell? And then I tried to look for stuff like more story wise on like how certain characters came out, but I didn't have to do that because in the game they actually literally tell you how these characters, the story of all the characters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It catches you up in how, like in the original story, how they became part of the crew, and it's fucking awesome. So I highly recommend this game to like anybody out there who wants to play it. But it is it is a damn good game. So what is your number 2, Lionel?
My number 2. This one's probably not gonna be a surprise to anyone really either. My number 2 is Persona 3 Reload.
Oh, okay.
And I know this is going to be like a shock because apparently a lot of like Atlas hardcores don't like this game. They prefer Persona 3 FES. And if you like Fez, all you. That's fine. I also enjoy FES. But you can't have a problem with Reload when it's damn near the same game, just improved. There are like little things that have changed here and there, but nothing super crazy. It didn't matter because the ending still hit me the same way like it did 15 years ago.
That's a sign of a good story and a good game.
Exactly. Like I don't even know what I can say about like Metaphor. Like I was battling back and forth between this and Metaphor, right? Metaphor as a game is definitely just a better game, but that nostalgia hit really got me when it comes to Persona 3 Reload, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Like it's up here at number 2 for how good the game is plus nostalgia because I love Persona 3. I love the Persona series. But just playing through this game. And this was like the first like what I think might be the second game of my like RPG run that I had early in the year. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just it was great. I enjoyed every second that I played Persona 3 Reload. It was fun. I did not play the answer. I'm not going to play the answer because I remember how the answer was before, and I don't think I don't think it's possible to improve that dog shit of a story. But Persona 3, fantastic.
Like you don't want to fight Super Boss Joker?
No, I do not. I saw what he was doing to people. I'm good.
Wrecking everybody, man.
Yeah, I'm super good. I don't look. I know Persona games aren't hard. Everyone plays them on Merciless. I played this one on Merciless also because again, Persona games are not hard. But I'm good. I'm good. All right, Prophet. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I got a couple.
I do too. Go ahead.
Okay, so honorable mentions. Unicorn Overlord, because there's no way I would not say this game. Well, as a I could have put it in the list because it would have probably been like tied for like third,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll put it as its own honorable mention because it's a game that deserves to be highlighted. Game is if you like tactical strategy games, right? And you like Vanillaware, and you like, all their stuff, what are you doing? Get Unicorn Overlord. The game is really, really good. It's probably one of the best strategy games that have come out. One of the best Vanillaware titles. And it's it's just a wonderful game. Really, really wonderful game. One that you're gonna want to replay like multiple times. I'm probably gonna do another playthrough of it here soon. So yeah, it is really good.
I have it. I haven't got a chance to play it yet. We talked about it before. I really want to play it. This year for me, uh, is a decent amount of downtime when it comes to games. So
Hmm.
I plan on hitting that game along with some other games in my backlog.
Yeah, man, it is worth your time. It is for sure worth your time. And another one, I know it gets a lot of hate, but I fucking, I got like about halfway through it so far. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Hmm.
I really, really enjoyed that game. I enjoy how different it is from, most other games in this genre because most of the other games, it's like hop on the horse, go to the point, go to the point, go to the point, and that's it, right? You're not really taking in what's around you. Dragon's Dogma 2, you have to take in everything that's around you because, you know, the world is constantly changing and then there's stuff that like some of the quests, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the quests have timing. So if you get there too late, something happens. There's a consequence for not getting there on time, right? Like there's one where, just for an example, there's somebody that's lost and they're in this cave and you got to find this kid that's in the cave. Well, if you slack around and then do other stuff and then decide to do it. Well, you go there, the kid's nothing but bones. He's dead. And you have to take back his not his corpse, but like one of his belongings and show the parent that your kid's dead.
Oh man.
So there's crazy shit like that throughout the game. So just what stuff like that. It's just it is really cool, really really cool.
Okay. That's dope. That's dope. I still need to play that too, to be honest. I don't even think I bought it because I heard about the like quote unquote problems I was having with frame rates and stuff like that. So I was like, I'll wait, and I just never picked it up. So I'm gonna pick it up on probably like maybe Xbox. I might pick it up on Xbox just so I can play through it.
Yeah, it's a fun run, man. Like, um, some of the things people had issues with, not barring the frame rate stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like some of the other stuff, I didn't really have an issue with it. It was just more you have to immerse yourself more in that world than you do in other games where all you do is just fast travel everywhere and just not really take in what's around you. So, you know, yeah, it's a different type of experience.
Okay. Let me get into mine really quick.
Uh-huh.
My first honorable mention, I think it has to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed what they did with the game. They improved a lot on the Final Fantasy VII remake. I don't think we've talked about it. I enjoyed the remake, but I think you and I talked about how much I was like on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rebirth fixed a lot of the problems that I had with the remake, except for the ending sequence feeling too long to me. And I know that people hear that they're gonna kill me for it, right? But it just was not like I'm tired of 40 to 60-minute what feels like boss fights. I'm good. Well, other than that, I enjoyed the game. They they put a lot more personality into the characters. They did a lot more with it. I hate that we're gonna have to wait like another 6 years for the finale of it, but I still think it was really good.
We'll get it next year.
We'll see. And my final one, I'm the fighting game guy. I can't go away from a fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
So my last honorable mention is Undernight in Birth 2.
Ooh, okay.
I know. I feel like I low key feel like Undernight in Birth 2 was probably the best fighting game to come out this year. Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Or last year. And I know Tekken 8 came out last year too. But honestly, I really do think Undernight 2 was the best fighting game. It had issues though. The main problem was that online didn't work for like a week.
Yeah.
So like it kind of hurt what was going on with the game, but overall the game is just so good. Like I just enjoyed every moment I played of that game, and I'm not nearly good at it. I suck at Undernight wholeheartedly. I'm bad at it, but it was just a good time.
That's good. That's good. I could put the only fighting game I played last year in there, but nah. Tekken 8's cool, but it ain't worth the honorable mention in my book.
Yeah, no. That's why I didn't mention it, because I played it too. But I'm good. Tekken 8 has some work to do. Virtual Fighter, please be like your tech demo. Please, I'm hoping Virtual Fighter 6 is at least 70% the tech demo that we got.
Yeah.
That'll be fighting game of the decade. All right.
It'll be crazy. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right, Proffitt. We got to talk about it.
The number one?
What is your number one game of 2024?
All right. It ain't going to surprise anybody that knows me. My number one game of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
That is also my number one.
That game is so good. It is so good. Um the stuff they do in that game to make you feel for like all the characters, the character building, all the things that you could do like side quest wise, which is completely insane. They have a complete Pokemon game in there. If you didn't know that you could do like Pokemon raids and stuff like the game's insane. It is. You even run a hotel at one point, right? And like stop people from trying to, you know, bash your hotel and shit. The game is crazy. And oh man, there's a whole lot I can say about it, but I'm just gonna put it at like, the passing of the torch from Kiryu to Ichiban was done perfectly. Like I I was, by the end of it, I was satisfied with what we got. And yeah, it was overall the game was fantastic. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Could be because I love the Yakuza series, but I don't care. By itself is a fantastic game. It has a fantastic it one upped every system it had in the original Like a Dragon. It added, more things to the combat system. Um and kind of streamlined some things that needed to be streamlined. It was just overall, it was just a fantastic game in a nice tight package. What do you think, Lionel?
Man, you know what? You won't do it. I'll do it. I'll be the one
Uh-oh.
to say it. There is not, there has not been a better JRPG to come out last year than Infinite Wealth. There is not a better story game to come out last year over Infinite Wealth. There is, I'm gonna say it. There was not a game to come out last year that was better, more packed, more impactful, and more stuffed than Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. You could literally play that game for 300 hours and not beat it if you really wanted to. There's that
Uh,
much in the game. There is a ton to do. If you want to do story stuff, you can. The story is easily one of the best in like the now again, not only Yakuza or Like a Dragon, but just gaming as a whole from last year.
yeah,
There's nothing better. There's no better experience. Uh Kasuga and Kiryu, everyone kind of wondered how they're going to balance this out and how they were going to do this. I think they did this I think they did it perfectly. They gave both of them as their shine as main characters perfectly. Uh I do there are some wishes that I do wish that they had, but realistically, like everything that I would say is nitpicky and it's not even worthy of even talking about right now. Just in general, I loved Infinite Wealth. It just was so good. It came out early in the year, so it plus it's like a Dragon Yakuza game, so they've been getting a lot more love lately, but it's not as much as it deserves to be, and it just capped off an amazing story, and it gave us an amazing ending for one of gaming's most iconic characters that we'll be seeing more in the future. But that's neither here nor there.
yeah,
I just enjoyed the game a lot.
yeah. Like I went through and just looked at my achievement list on here. Yeah, there's so much. Yeah, yeah. I got 49 of 65 of the base game achievements. That
That means
game
you got
is.
to go back.
Oh, I'm gonna go back and platinum it. But the great thing is, if you ever get a chance and you want to run Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, you run the other Yakuza game first, the man who erased his name.
Hmm.
You play that and then you play Infinite Wealth. and then the story is just like, the stories are like it kind of Infinite Wealth kind of takes place a little bit after The Man Who Erased His Name. Actually, it ends up right there. So it's like, oh man, yeah, it is probably easily one of the best Yakuza games. But a game as a whole that came out last year, it was by far like probably the best game I played last year. Easy,
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, it wasn't like I can tell you when I made my list, I knew number one right away. Like
Yep.
there was no back and forth between anything, and I enjoy my list. I like my list. I love all the games I played last year except for Undisputed. You get an unhonorable mention, Undisputed, but
Thumbs down.
but I really Infinite Wealth. It just there was nothing that touched that experience. My entire gaming year was chasing a story as good as Infinite Wealth. That's not even bullshit. I'm not even kidding. Like Infinite Wealth was like one of the first games I played last year. Like Profit, I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold off. Once I get Infinite Wealth, I'm going.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I was chasing a story experience like that for the rest of the year. And while I got a lot of really good stories, like Metaphor is up there, and Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy, yeah, Final Fantasy is up there, and Reload's up there. They just don't top what Infinite Wealth did. They just don't.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's just the yeah. There's so much to that story, and just like all of the characters in it, they were all great, and it takes you through a roller coaster. Like, if you know anything about a Yakuza game, it is a there's a moment where shit happens, and it's like, all right, you strapped up. Now we're going for the real roller coaster ride, and it takes you for a crazy ride for about 20 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And Infinite Wealth, once it does that, it does not stop. It just keeps going. So, yeah, it's easily in my book one of the best games I played last year, or actually the best game I played last year.
Mm-hmm. Bar none. Since I gave a dishonorable mention, Prophet, do you have a dishonorable mention that you want to do before we wrap this up?
Ooh, dishonorable mention.
Yes.
I got to think of the worst game I played last year. Let's see. Let me look at this little shit right now.
While you're thinking,
Oh, well,
I got you. Oh no, you got it. Okay, you got it.
yeah, Mortal Kombat 1. That was the worst game I played last year.
You know what's sad?
Yeah,
As a fighting game guy, I didn't even buy it.
I bought it was $15 on PSN on one of the sales.
And you still hated it
So I was
that
like,
much?
okay, huh?
You still hated it that much?
It just what is I don't know. I don't hate it. I just don't recommend it. It's not. I don't know. The gameplay does not feel good. Like that old archaic Mortal Kombat system just doesn't feel good. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the more I play it, the more I hate it. It's one of those systems where if you don't know what you're doing, which you're not going to like 99% of the time, the game just looks really stiff. And that's with all the NetherRealm games. Like, you don't know what you're doing, the game just looks really stiff and feels really bad.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what you're doing, it flows kinda and still looks stiff. I don't know. I thought, but you know what? I played the last one, MK11, which kind of liked better. Or actually, the last Mortal Kombat I really liked was the first one to come out on 360 PS3, which was what was it, MK9?
I think so. Yeah.
First reboot. That game was excellent, and it felt completely different than these ones. For
I, I
whatever reason, they put like I don't know, they just stiffened everything up for like every game after that, and I don't know why.
hmm. You know, I'm kind of with you on that. I've only watched MK1, right? I haven't actually played it myself, and I've knowing people that play fighting games, I can just see that I don't think the Mortal Kombat I don't think Mortal Kombat is dead, but what I do think, and I know you didn't say that, but I think they need to do like a real reboot and figure some things out. Uh, the last game that I like, and I know I'm gonna sound like one of those. MKX was the last Mortal Kombat that I really enjoyed. Could I fully get into it? No, not really, but I really liked MKX, especially the Ultimate Edition with all the characters in it. Just fantastic.
Yeah, no, I liked MKX also. MKX felt closer to MK9,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I enjoyed that, and the secret characters were fun. Like fighting with Alien, it was like, whoa, shit, okay. Actually, you know what? I got another dishonorable mention. I'm gonna throw this fucking game under the bus because fuck this game.
Uh
This is one I do not like. The First Descendant.
oh. Ooh, talk about it.
So, being the company being the company it is that made that game with its predatory fucking practices of, having to pay ungodly amounts of money to progress. The game is not that good. Play Warframe. Hey, guess what? Play Warframe, guys. It's way better. They're trying to be Warframe, but make you pay three times as much. Don't do that. Go and play Warframe. I loaded up Warframe the other day, and it is a completely different game now. So yeah, play Warframe. It's better. It has a better story, has a better everything. Just do that.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
play the first again.
First Descendant definitely feels like it feels like super free to play, like predatory bullshit type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to unlock characters, and I saw people really trying to like push that game when it came out, and when it came out, the game didn't even work. It didn't run on anyone's systems well, right?
No.
And so I don't know. That's one of those games last year. There were a couple games last year. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but that was one of them specifically that people were really trying to push really hard, knowing that the game wasn't working, knowing that you had to spend like there was a costume that was like $80. Costume. Like, it's insane. Like, you want to talk about pay to win stuff, and I know free to play it kind of gets away with it, quote unquote, but a lot of those big skins that you got were super pay to win. Like, they give you stats and everything to help you clear stuff. Like, that game is not good. And I played it. I tried to really get into it. But
Yeah.
that game is just awful.
Yeah, it's not good. It is not great. So, alternative, play Warframe.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 10 times better experience, and if you're a player, we all broke sometimes. You're not like you won't feel behind because of that, and the skins don't give you ungodly power ups or anything like that. It's not pay to win like that. Can you pay to get a character early? Sure. But you can also earn the character and, get all the parts and pieces and then make them into thing. I made over half of my stuff like that. Not over half, about 99% of it. I probably didn't buy any characters except for like Wukong or whatever. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, play Warframe. Don't play the First Descendant.
You got anything else before we wrap this one up?
No, man. I think we're good on that. Yeah.
Well, that's it. You heard our honorable mentions, our dishonorable mentions, and our top 5 games of 2024. So if you have a list, if you agree with our list, if you disagree with our list, if you have your own top 5 list, if you have like a top 10, 20 list, throw in the comments and let us know what your favorite games were of 2024. We'll get on and we'll talk about them too, because I can guarantee you one of us probably played them for sure. So make sure you throw some comments, and while you're around the YouTube, make sure you give us a like. like hit that like button, share us with your friends, let them know that one of the best gaming podcasts of all time is the Command Grab. You can listen to us. You don't have to worry about any kind of wild, like out of the box opinions. We talk about things that we enjoy. Like I said, give us a like. While you're down there, also go ahead and sub to the channel, so that way you can see all of our content. We have, like Proffitt said earlier, we have a lot of podcasts. We have our wrestling podcast, Off the Top Rope. We have the podcast to now, the Command Grab, and we have our anime podcast that we will do at some point again, the OVA. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you can see all of our uploads when they happen. And finally, well, not finally, make sure you are following us on Blue Sky, and make sure if you can't watch us on YouTube, you're listening to us on Podbean and Spotify. Our podcasts are there, and hang out with us, listen to us, talk with us, and that's really it. So thank you all, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Righty, we're out.